I'm going to crack this thing open.
You know how like advent calendars for kids, those chocolates?
Yeah. Yeah, we got one.
I'm like that with pumpkin pie.
No, it's my first Marvel movie. Everyone's like, oh my God, you got to see a Marvel movie in theaters. So I'm like, okay, I'll go see Spider-Man.
Maybe they should have been in there because I have some opinions on why Georgia is in the playoffs. They should not be in the playoffs.
Oh my God.
Why should
Not
they?
you.
They just lost.
Welcome to the Beer and Sports Podcast. We are a part of the Fence Talk Sports Network. Make sure to like and subscribe to both us and the network to stay up to date and catch every episode of us and all the great shows within the network. Josh Kimmel, how's it going, buddy? Josh Kimmel, US.
I am tired. That's all I can tell you. I had a 4-hour live stream last night.
I saw that you were like gunsed out like you are right now, like ready to go.
I'm always guns out, baby. It's Memorial Day. We're flexing on them, and my voice hurts. I couldn't believe I did a 4-hour show.
Your voice hurts.
Yeah, you do a 4-hour show. It's very tiring.
I mean, I work and talk for 8 hours every day.
Well, so do I, but trying to create content while watching a pay-per-view is pretty difficult to do. But I had a great time with Alex. Go catch that over on the No Holds Barred podcast. They are live every single Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, and, of course, 7 Pacific. I give all time zones here.
Ooh, you're just all ready to go.
Podcast. Yeah, I am. So, yeah, it's been a very slow week for me. Weekend. Besides that podcast I did last night.
I've been all over the place, but I will say you can catch that podcast on Fins Talk Sports Network on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Fins Talk Network. And
hold on. I'm not done plugging my shit. You do your thing in a second, all right? I have to remind myself. Alexa, set an alarm. OUS podcast is moving to Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. For now, for good. So this Wednesday, I'll be live for my fantasy football podcast Wednesday night, 8 o'clock.
So no more Sundays.
No, Sundays are over. We are moving me to Wednesday, which is a better time slot for everyone, I believe.
Cool. No, that sounds great. But if you want to pay attention to the Beer and Sports Podcast, you can catch us at Mugs and Balls on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. And myself, Josh Wingate 302 on Twitter. You can see a bunch of nothing on my Twitter because I don't really do much on Twitter. But Josh Kimmel is all over Twitter. He is
not lately.
Twitter animal.
No, not lately. This weekend I've been off Twitter. Let me tell you why.
My handle right now on my door is like moving.
Okay.
I feel like it's my daughter trying to come in. If I could just give you a behind the scenes of what leads up to me doing a show, it's unreal. My daughter has to get a shower. My wife decides to get a shower right after. So I have to get my daughter ready for bed. Don't put that in your mouth. And it's just like mayhem for me. I have to go get allergy medicine for her to take. I have to get vitamins. I have to get teeth brush. Did you brush your teeth? No, you better go brush some teeth.
So much going on over there.
And
you're right.
Like, in your mouth.
Is 8:15 a hard time? Do we need to move it back to 9? Are we?
No, it should be good. Are you going to say hi to everybody? What was that? All right, well,
a good time.
You go brush your teeth, and Daddy's going to do a show. I love you. Good night. But are you drinking a beer tonight? I know you are heavy on the TB12.
Does it look, dude? Do these cuts look like I have beer? Right? No, I have no cuts. But no, I have no beer in me or any kind of liquor at all.
I went and I picked up a little something from Lagunitas. It's called a little something.
Okay.
And I did that because I was like, I've been drinking the same beer over and over again. I need to get something new because since starting this show, before I was like I did some sours. I did like your normal Bud Light. I have expanded my taste buds to beer and my palate to beer so much. And you're going to have some fancy word to say. I can see it just raring to come out.
Look, the beer Josh is dead. He'll never come back. Beer Josh is dead. So I have in my eyes, that is true.
Reincarnated within me. It's been this is not craft beer, but I picked this up because I'm going to be on California next week.
Make sure you get some Pliny the Elder. Make sure you get Pliny the Younger. Make sure you hit up all the good spots out there. Don't be hitting up no
where are they
nasty. I'll send you an email or text.
It has to be like San Diego-ish because I'm going to be in San
Diego. Okay, that's a hot spot. That's a hot spot. I know it is a hot spot. All right, cool. Hey, B McD says history was made TN. I'm going to guess that's Tennessee. Tonight. So history is going to be made in Tennessee. I don't know why or what's going on
tonight.
What's going on tonight? Is there anything big going on tonight? Is there anything?
We have some Game 7s coming up.
Not yet. Not for the NHL, which is what I care about.
Not for the NHL.
I thought it was. If they win tonight, it's going to be Game 7, Knights and Dallas Stars.
Well, you have me just all thrown off now because you said we have 2 Game 7.
I did say that, and that was early on when I didn't know what was happening.
So I was like prepared for this Game 7 showdown. Knights versus Stars.
No,
we're going to talk about that. But before we get into the history being made tonight, I'm assuming they're talking about the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics. That should be a really I'm not a big basketball guy, but that should be a really good game of 2 heavy hitters in basketball of Jason Tatum and oh my goodness, I can't think.
B McD, are you still there? B McD, tell me why. Tell me in a word, in a sentence, what is so exhilarating? What is so exciting about the NBA? I just have to know. I'm dying to figure this out.
He's a Celtics fan.
Because I'm trying to figure out why it's good.
But you got Jason Tatum, and then you also have Jimmy Butler.
I mean,
2 heavy hitters.
You have the NHL. No, hold on. You have the NHL, NBA, because I do this. I switch back and forth, B McD. Yeah. I really do, because I try to keep them in contact. All right. I'm telling you what, man, switching over to the NBA, I'm falling asleep. These guys are moving at sloth speed, going very slow. Everything's a whistle. They fucking stop every 5 seconds. Everything's a foul. The last 60 seconds takes an hour. And I flip it back to ESPN or TNT, whatever the NHL game's on. Fast pace, can't stop. People are getting knocked out. People are getting hit. Like there's action going nonstop. What is the appeal? I don't understand why people like this slow ass game. So that's all I gotta say.
The strategy behind the game. Are you not a fan of strategy?
There's strategy in NHL, but I will be watching Game 7 because I watch all sports. Game 7 is phenomenal, so I'll be watching that over the Dallas Stars game. To be honest with you. But I just don't understand what the appeal is.
But it wasn't until after they took out all the strategy of baseball that you're like, yeah, let's go. I'm all in on baseball. they're speeding this game up.
No more shifts. No more all this stuff. You know,
the thing that Tampa Bay have created in baseball, they're now taking it away, and you're like, yeah, I'm all in. Let's go.
Well, the creators of all that, I mean, not the creators, but the people that utilized it the most were the Tampa Bay Rays. So I'm well aware of how the shift and everything works. Joe Madden in the 08, 09, 2010, like the Rays, the opener, all this stuff is because of the Rays. The Rays revolution.
That's what I'm saying. It was created in Tampa Bay.
Yes. Defense, defense, then alley-up, oops, and then the big 3-pointers. Yeah, but what I'm saying, B McD, is they're just walking. There's no excitement. There's no nothing. I saw LeBron get into physical with this one guy, and I'm like, oh my god! Oh, and then I turned it over to the NHL. The guys are getting fucking elbowed into the glass and just falling down, bloody everywhere. And they get up and go skate. Like to me, I just can't. I don't know. It's so boring. But I am into it. I'm picking the Heat. Sorry, B McD. Picking the Heat because this is Dolphins Network.
So here's my thing.
Tatum.
I want to pick the Heat. I really do.
Tater tots.
But Jason, it came real close. Heat almost lost last week or last game, and Jason Tatum did not hit a single 3. If he starts hitting threes, I think the Celtics win. If he can get hot with the threes, like he did, I think. Who were they playing? The Celtics? Were they playing the Sixers, where he was just dropping threes left and right? If he can come in, start dropping threes like he was against the Sixers, like it's going to be the bad.
Right. So, not gonna lie, I'm probably the least informed person talking basketball. So let's go and I'm 5. I'm gonna look at the box scores and everything. So Miami was up 3-0, and then now they're tied 3-3. That's pretty bad. They're the 8 seed. Not really any blowouts. I mean, so B McD, is Boston the better team? It's just they were getting bamboozled, unlucky breaks.
Celtics is one of the best teams in basketball, correct?
Well, I'm assuming because the Heat are the 8 seed. So I'm assuming Boston's going to close it out tonight. Are they in Boston too?
They
have to be. Yeah, they're the higher seed. Duh, I'm so stupid. BMT. Sorry. But gosh, I'll tell you this. I'll give you credit on this, BMT, and all you other NBA fans out there. The whiteout games, when every fan decides to dress the same, I don't know how that works. Because when I go to hockey games, we all just wear our own sweaters and our own shirts. We don't all call each other up and say, hey, let's all wear the same shirt. When they do that, no better environment for any kind of sporting event. I love whiteouts. I love stuff like that.
Really?
I do.
I feel like that. I feel like when you set up for a whiteout, I feel like you're set up to lose. Like, what are the blackouts or the whiteouts? Like, I feel like you're set up to lose. I just remember the first one of that happening. Remember Penn State doing it, and like all the hype up to like that whiteout that Penn State was ready to have, and then just a dramatic like bomb of a game. And them losing.
Dude, but it looks so cool. Like when everyone's wearing the same shirt and everyone's wearing like the white. I know the Heat do it, I think. A lot of NBA teams do it, but it's freaking awesome. That's all I got to say about what. And I noticed watching basketball this season.
I like the towels. I like when you look into the crowd and the towels are just going wild. I like that.
Let me tell you something. Lightning give away these stupid things that you inflate up and you just bang them together. They suck. We got towels this year in the playoffs. We didn't know what to do with them. Do we do this? Really? Do we wave them? We don't get cool things like that in Tampa, so we didn't know what to do. But I love the atmosphere of seeing the towels go.
Yeah, I love that. I remember the playoffs with the Phillies and watching those towels just go crazy in the stands. Like, I absolutely loved it. Yeah, it's such a good atmosphere. I just love Game 7s. I love playoff atmospheres. I love all of that. As I turn on the hockey game right now, because I don't even know what I'm looking at right now. Vegas is up 1-0. Game 6. Vegas is leading the series 3-2. Like I said, Vegas is up first period. Is that what they call them in hockey? Period.
Yeah, first period. So let's move on to a little hockey. Not hockey. We'll go back and forth between the series because they do have some similarities. So we had the Florida Panthers in the Stanley Cup Finals, who were the worst team to make it to the playoffs. So they made it in. Same thing over there in the NBA, as in the Heat Nuggets. The Nuggets are the other team that made it, correct?
Yes, Nuggets they swept Lakers. They're in the finals, so we're waiting to see who plays the Nuggets.
I watched the very last 5 minutes of that Lakers game when people were getting chippy and LeBron lost.
Yeah,
couldn't recognize, didn't know one player that played for Denver Nuggets. Are they good? Like, are they just a fluke team that just kind of got in there?
Jokic, one of the best players. He's been the MVP. Everyone thought he should have been the MVP this year over Joel Embiid. He's one of the best centers in basketball, and he's just he can, I believe, don't quote me on this because I'm not the basketball fan that a lot of people think I am. No one thinks I'm a basketball fan.
Let me ask you this.
I'm pretty sure he can shoot threes.
Let me ask you. Well, he made one like with this. It was crazy. But let me ask you this, B. McD, and everyone else in the chat, and you, Josh. If I say the name Connor McDavid, do you know who that is?
Yes.
Could you pick him out of do you know what team he plays for, and could you pick him out of a lineup? I've heard the name Jokic. I've heard it.
Connor McDavid. I could not tell you the team he plays for. I want to say he plays for the team that won the championship last year.
No. So could you know Austin Matthews?
Austin Matthews. No.
Okay. So I just named you the two greatest hockey players in the world right now. The two.
Who does Connor McDavid play for?
The Edmonton Oilers.
Okay.
Connor McDavid plays for the Edmonton Oilers.
He was like a first overall pick, right? A while back.
Yeah.
I remember remember a few shows back where I was like, I remember watching the NHL draft. He was the guy that got drafted.
Yes.
And he was like that
awesome.
big name guy. Yeah, I remember.
He could be anyone in the world. He can go out there and play with the other end of the stick and still be the best player in the world. Yeah. He doesn't need he's just that damn good. So what I'm trying to say is, when I say I don't know who this Jokic guy is, I don't know who this guy is, I don't know who that guy is. I remember 3 years ago, I remember saying, wait, Giannis and that other Atinamakumpumbo. I'm like, that's one person? I thought it was two different people. I'm not kidding. So for me to tell you, for me people to go, you don't know who Jokic is? I just named you the two best hockey players in the world, and you couldn't even fucking picture them. So why am I the crazy person? Why am I the heel?
Connor McDavid.
Why am I the bad guy?
I told you he was the first overall pick a few years back. I remember him. I remember him getting drafted. He had like this baby face.
Bruce Wayne? You know Bruce Wayne? He knows Wayne. Wayne Gretzky, of course, he played for many teams, but he didn't play for the Red Wings. Yeah, but that's my point though. Is you can these superstars and these fringe sports? Because come on, let's be honest. If it's not the NHL, they're fringe.
I've heard
NHL, NFL. If it's not the football National Football League, it's fringe sports.
I heard of Wayne Gretzky on Everyone Knows Chris. Have you seen that episode?
I've never seen that show in my life.
No. Oh my goodness, that's such a good show.
No, he's not a Red Wing.
He played for Montreal, right?
Wayne Gretzky? He's played for multiple teams. Edmonton, Los Angeles, New York. Edmonton, yes. Everywhere. There's a good Red Wing. Then Steve Yzerman, Chris Chelios. I mean, I can go down the list of great Red Wings. There's a bajillion of them.
Vegas just went up 2-0.
So, okay, let's get back to the finals talk because on one team we have the Nuggets, which honestly are a national nightmare. Denver Nuggets, like that's not a selling point. And then on the other side,
the Joker,
On the other side, you have, but generally people like me, casual fans. That's what the NBA wants to bring in. Every sport wants casual fans. I'm not tuning in to go see the Denver Nuggets versus the Miami Heat. I'm just not. Or the Boston Celtics, but the Celtics give it a little bit more buying power. A little bit. It does.
More. I think both teams do because Jimmy Butler might be one of the best players in all of basketball.
Again,
like
I couldn't.
He's unreal. Like that is the one thing that the Sixers are looking back on their decision and they're just kicking themselves so hard. Like whoever came into that conference and said, "You know what? We don't need Butler. Like let him go." If he's not fired now, he should be fired immediately because that was the single like worst decision in this. Can we call it like what was it? What are they calling it? I forget. That rebuilding period of what Philadelphia is doing.
The process.
Yeah, this whole process.
Trust
if they would have kept Jimmy Butler on that team, like I promise you they would have multiple NBA championships.
But that's unfair, man. The NBA, I've noticed players move around from team to team each year. We don't know. Kevin Durant's probably going to play on a different team next year. I don't know that. I don't follow it that much, but I'm guaranteed he probably is.
I'm pretty sure Jimmy Butler is on record saying he wanted to stay in Philadelphia.
And I'll tell you this. I don't even know where Kevin Durant is right now. Last I checked, he was in the Suns.
Yeah, he's still in the Suns.
Okay.
But I think he wants to leave.
But the NBA is exactly. The NBA is so fluid, so I can't blame. Of course, he can say I want to stay. Doesn't mean anything. You got to go. You got to go. Look, we brought up Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky was traded. The greatest athlete, the greatest hockey player of all time in that sport was traded.
Yeah.
So anyone could be traded or anyone could be let go. We just saw DeAndre Hopkins be released. Anything can happen. At the end of the day, these are just players. These are just humans. Yes, they're special. Yes, they're awesome athletes, but they don't want to be there. They don't want to be there. Or if they don't fit that team, they just don't fit that team.
Yeah. But I really do think either one of these teams, the Celtics or the Heat, if they go and you got that Cinderella story like we were talking about last week of the Miami Heat going into the playoffs and winning and going all the way as an 8 seed. And then you also have the top team, the Celtics, going in there and then possibly being that star name. Jason Tatum or Jimmy Butler are going to be names that you can throw up there with the Joker and sell an NBA final all day, every day.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure of it. On the other side, though, the NHL, it's going to be hard to sell a Florida Panthers Vegas Knights final. I mean, it really is.
But the Vegas Knights, aren't they kind of that team that came in and did great? So that they had a lot of the casual fan attachment. So maybe they still have that because I remember a few years back, was it their first year in the league?
Yeah, the first year in the league.
The finals. And so a lot of those casual fans just attach right to the Vegas Knights. So maybe they'll have more teams that attach to them and say, "Oh yeah, I remember that team. Let's watch it."
Nobody wants Vegas to win. Nobody wants. This is a nightmare for the NHL. This is by far the biggest nightmare you could have. Because what you had was a hot Toronto team, a hot Boston team which would have been great in the finals, either two. And Florida took them both down. And on the other side, you had Edmonton with Connor McDavid. He can't do everything. It's not like the NBA where the best player in the world can take you to the finals every year. That just can't happen. There's too much going on in hockey.
I do like the Stars uniforms.
The Stars are cool. I do look. I'm rooting for the Stars over Vegas. Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen. Vegas
I have
closes
to.
It out.
As a Cowboys fan, I have to root for the Dallas Stars.
B. McD, that is false. As a Lightning fan, as someone who is a real champion, as someone who has, I don't know where my championship ring is right now, but I've been down to Sunrise, and your stadium's trash. Your arena's trash. It's embarrassing. It's one of the most depressing arenas I've ever been to in my entire life. And the Lightning wiped the floor with them sorry-ass Panthers. But I'm rooting for you guys because, I don't like the other teams either. I mean, I don't know what to do.
So if the Stars are in the finals, you're rooting for the Panthers?
I probably am. And I'll tell you, and it's mainly because of this network, to be completely honest with you.
Okay.
When they do well, the network does well. And it's also on top of that. I don't want to say it because
what?
I mean, let's be honest here. If the NHL didn't have an agenda, didn't have this agenda to get a Toronto team to propel itself into the second round, the Lightning would have beat their ass because they outplayed them 5 out of 6 games. And then the Lightning would have beat the shit out of the Panthers because the Panthers get owned, and B. McD would know, and everyone else knows. The Lightning own them kitty cats. Own. Period. Done. And then they would have went on to the Stanley Cup Finals again, and then they would have won the Stanley Cup Finals 3 out of 4 years. Story is told, dynasty sealed, best dynasty in sports of all time. But it didn't happen.
Best dynasty of sports of all time?
I think they, just because they're in the NHL, people if you actually go look at the Hall of Famers on this hockey team, there's at least 4 of them. Okay? And then you look at the runs they made. How many years did they go to this Cup Finals and fail? How many times did they go to the Eastern Cup Finals and lose in Game 7? They should have easily won another 2 Stanley Cups in this run. This is one of the best dynasties, one of the best teams that's ever played in any sport, and people will underappreciate it because it's hockey. But it's true. The Lightning are one of the most.
You're just saying professional sports
of all professional sports, yes.
Okay, professional. Well, let's just say the Boston Celtics with 59 and 66 won 7 straight championships. I mean, you have the Boston Celtics.
When?
59 to 66.
Okay, when there was how many teams?
I don't know. Let's see, the Montreal Canadiens. 1956 to 60.
I don't want to hear about the Canadian Stanley Cups with their 6-team league. Get out of here! You're playing bums. No, come on, fake.
And then you have the Yankees.
Oh, come on, more. Okay, in the modern history, in the modern day, what other teams go on runs like that? What the Lightning just did? There's not many.
We can talk about this team up in Boston, New England.
Oh yeah, they're number one. They're the best. They're the best current day, modern era franchise run of all time. Lightning up there too. No basketball team. Even the Golden State Warriors, when they were hot, they weren't doing what the Lightning were doing. There's no way. They may have had the same amount of Hall of Famers, but come on, it's 5-on-5, and you really only play about 7-8 players deep. Lightning are playing 25 players deep, and they're playing a lot more ruling teams. I hate to say it, and they have a lot more skilled players on that team. I'm just saying, people don't want to respect them. That's all I gotta say. They have one of the best goaltenders that ever lived. Andre Vasilevsky, the Lightning. Andre Vasilevsky is one of the best goaltenders that ever lived. Hall of Famer, done.
I thought the Anaheim, or who was it? Who's out there in California?
There's a lot of people out there in California.
There's a team out in California with the greatest goaltender out there.
There's a lot of teams in California.
Okay, I'm just saying.
There's a lot. California is a big state.
Who's the best goalie?
You better do some research in California, buddy. It's not, you can't just drive from one end of your state to the other in one day in California, buddy.
And back. And then go up again.
What do you guys do? Hey, honey, I'm driving to the northern border. Why? I don't know. Be back in 30 minutes. You get to the border and come right down to the southern border. You're back in the middle of the state, all before noon.
Yeah, you can. Literally do that. Yeah, you can go bottom to top, bottom to top, bottom to top, probably in one day.
All right, so he thinks so B McD in the chat says that nobody compete with the Lakers and Celtics did. Let's be honest, that's probably true. But modern day sports, it's much harder to do what the Lightning have done because we don't see it much. We don't. Even the Golden State Warriors, didn't they have a couple seasons where they were just trash, like winning 15 games, like complete trash, and then they were back on top again? The Lightning didn't get that trash moment. They never have. They're just constantly on the top, constantly in the Eastern Conference Finals, are constantly hoisting the Stanley Cup. No other team can say that.
Except for the Patriots.
Except for the Patriots. Yes, except for the Patriots. And soon to be the Chiefs. Like,
I mean, the Lakers could say that. The Bulls could have said that.
But how long? The 90s. The 90s. I'm talking about 2020. I'm talking about 2010s. Like, give me the new modern era. No one's doing that these days.
Well, why are we throwing stipulations around this? Why can't
because
it just
I live in the present. I don't live in the past.
You're saying all time, and then you're like, well, let's just narrow it down to this era.
Do you think that those teams back then, the Lakers and Celtics, would run the table like that in the NBA now?
I do. While the game has changed, they had difference makers on those teams that can change the game back to what it was back then. Kareem Olajuwon is going to change the game. Magic Johnson is going to change the game. Kobe Bryant changed the game. Shaquille O'Neal, hands down, in this era will change the game completely back because he's one of the most physically dominating players in basketball of all time.
They let him. I would watch the NBA if they actually let the guys play and they weren't all cowards. What I mean by cowards is, I mean, every time LeBron gets touched to do, why can't they just play real? This is the only sport, and I will say this because I watched the NBA yesterday or the day before. I'm sorry about my time frames. It's been a blur this weekend. Where, dude, you can literally shoot and jump into somebody and they get the foul. The fuck is that? Like, what the fuck? That's so stupid. That's so weak and it's so lame. But that's a sport. And that's the rule.
Because you'll see a lot of times they attempt that at the end of the game, at the end of their three. So the player has to step back, give them a free. I don't know if you can hear me very well here, but they have to shoot. And then the defenders backing up because they don't want to get that foul at the end of the game because they're trying to so hard to get that foul. But yeah.
How's that a foul? I jump into you and then you get the foul. That is so soft and it's just so lame.
I agree. No, I 100% agree.
And then I was looking at something on Twitter today where like the officiating has just taken over the playoffs, both sports, by the way, but more worse over there in NBA because they can. Because I watch a game and I'll see a guy drive to the hole and lay up, whistle calls. What the fuck is the foul? Can anyone tell me? Nobody explains. It's just, whoop. The fuck happened? Nobody touched nobody. Nobody fell. Nobody got hurt. The fuck are we doing? Because his pinky touched the other guy's pinky? Is that a foul? It doesn't make sense. The whole sport to me doesn't make sense. The fuck are we doing? We got some guys over here going 80 miles per hour on the skates, fucking breaking away, and guys are chopping at the stick and shit, and the guy's being a man and muscling up and getting the shot off still. That's not a foul. A foul would be him fucking taking the stick and jamming it down his throat and pinning him to the ground. Not this, he hit me. To me, that needs to get fixed because it'd be a better game. It was a better game back then. Much better.
Oh yeah, well, we can say that for every sport out there. They're going towards the injury, making sure there's no injuries that are going to happen. The NFL was so much better back in the 90s. I feel like I am like Chat GPT right now.
You are very blurry.
I feel like I am hardcore Chat GPT AI over here.
Dude, for real, I've never used Chat GPT. Is that free?
It is free.
Okay. I'm sorry.
OpenAI, it is free.
I'm gonna start using it because I have an interview on Wednesday for a new position at my job, and I'm just gonna ask him to do my interview for me. I have the questions already. I have the questions.
Well, yeah, you can. Yeah, if you have the questions already, you can say answer these the best way in the what's
Star
that interview
format.
style? Star format. Yeah, there you go.
Let's go, Chat GPT, whatever you're called.
OpenAI.
So what's going on in the world? I'm done arguing. I'm not arguing.
Well, okay, let's move on then. Let's move on because I do want to talk a little NFL because I feel like there's a rule change that might change how the Miami Dolphins set up their team. Have you heard about this rule change?
South Park wrote most of the episodes on ChatGPT. That's pretty funny. No, is it with the fair catch rule on the special teams?
No. Okay. It is a rule passed that allows you to have a third quarterback to be active during the game without using a game day roster spot.
That should have been a rule. Thank you, whoever voted that in. That's an amazing rule.
Yeah. So what that does is, do you think this is going to change how the Miami Dolphins set up their team? Because they still have to take up a 53-man roster. They can't be on the practice squad or anything and then take up a non-spot. They still have to take up a 53-man roster spot. So that means it takes away from another player on this team, the 53rd man, most likely. Who do you think the Dolphins go with three quarterbacks, or do you think they dial it back and still go with 2?
I think they go with 2, and if something happens, they go with 3. But I like this rule in general. Overall, I think the league needs it because it's getting bad out there with these quarterbacks. I mean, who else are they going to sign? Like my thing is with you is, are they even going to carry a third quarterback on this roster?
I mean,
worth anything?
And if you want to develop your quarterbacks, are you still using them to develop and having them possibly be in there and not take up a roster spot or a game day roster spot game of and just keep them in there? They can't come in unless quarterbacks before them are hurt or being looked at for injury. They can then come in. But Skylar Thompson, could he be that third guy that you be that 53 guy? And then
yeah, he has to be. I mean, I would, if I'm this team, I would roster 3 quarterbacks and have all 3 ready to go on Sunday. Do you
think before this rule change happened, do you think Skylar Thompson made the team?
No. Yeah, I think Skylar can also clear waivers, to be honest with you, too, B. McD. But still, the point is it doesn't, at this point, you just need bodies. You can't have what happened last year happen again. Yeah. But that would be having Skylar as your quarterback, worst case scenario. But we've seen other teams like the 49ers deal with this too. You just it's just bad football. It's bad for the league to see that.
Yeah.
Bad for the league when you have Kendall Hinton starting for the Broncos, or when you have you need every
Christian McCaffrey playing in a playoff game at quarterback.
Exactly. Yeah. It's bad for the league. Now, this is a league-wide rule, and it's for a reason.
For sure.
Can we just talk about Tua and how fat he got?
I didn't see how. Did he get fat or?
I don't know.
Is this a joke? Because I feel like this has been Dolphins Twitter for the last 2 months.
I don't know if these are real.
Is he fat or is he just jacked? I feel like I'm Chat GPT AI again.
Fat picture. I don't know.
Well, if you.
How do I get this?
Maybe he's trying to add some weight around his body because it seems to be middle of the body that is getting hurt the most.
Bro, have you seen his legs? Have you seen this man's legs?
No.
Tua fat. Look, he's not fat, obviously. He's an athlete. But, man, he looks thicker. Did you seriously not see this picture, Josh?
No, I can't see the picture.
Can I share my screen?
Yeah, you can share your screen.
All right, how do I do that? Settings, present, share screen. Share screen. Sorry, guys, I'm new to this. Tua fat, share. You have to throw it up, though, I think, because you're the producer. Now, look at this picture. Does this look like the Tua you know? Look how thick this boy is.
I mean, maybe he's trying to get thicker because he needs to. No, that's not the Tua that I'm used to at all.
Like, there's got to be more pictures here. There was one that it showed who was like last year from behind and this year. Night and freaking day, dude. This guy has gotten big, which I'm okay with it as long as he can still perform at the same, the same way. But
let's be honest. He's not the fastest quarterback.
Well, yeah. He's not going to do anything on the ground for you. He's not going to. He gets the ball out fast. So
yeah, and that's the thing. If he's not going to tear you up in the run in the run game. What's
BMD says he's a little bit dad bodish and thick with 3 C's. Hey, look, Look, I've been dad bod. That wasn't dad bod. That was, I can't feel anything, so I'm just gonna eat ice cream and feel sorry for myself until I get back in shape. That's what it felt like. And I want to say this because I did watch wrestling last night. And last night there was a wrestler who was out from a concussion injury way back in June of last year. And last night was his first match back. And you think, oh, he's a professional wrestler. Yeah, he's a professional wrestler where they're trained to fall and they're trained to be safe and it's all choreographed. And he was out for almost a year with this head injury. And he's been on the mic and he's been open. He's been on podcasts where it's been a scary situation and he didn't know if he was ever going to feel normal again. The fact that Tua, and he also came back opposite. He came back like 30 pounds skinnier, lost a lot of muscle mass, looks terrible, to be honest with you. So this could be the whole concussion thing with Tua right now, where he's in a depressed state, his body doesn't know what's happening, and he's not working out as hard. I don't know, but it looks like this is a complete factor from the concussion, from the health issues.
I don't know about that. I think,
dude, have you read the studies though? Have you seen? Because I've been doing a lot of like getting into it, and man, your body changes, the way you feel, the way you think, the way you eat. It's just everything changes.
I see. So. I don't know. I don't necessarily. I'd have to honestly, and it's going to sound weird, but I have to see the man with his shirt off. I really would. Like,
you see his ass right there.
I get that, but legs. What kind? What does this weight look like? Is it going to be he added muscle to it, or is it like he just ate? Because you can tell a real difference. If he's cut up a little bit with his shirt off, then yeah, I'm going to say no. But if it's like massively overweight, he's got that dad bod, then okay, we have a conversation there. But if I'm seeing he's a little cut, being that big, then he ate a lot of calories and worked out, and I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with it too, man. But I don't think getting fat, adding extra layers of fatness, is going to help with the head protocol.
No, but I do think it's going to change the way he plays, and I think with that, it's going to protect him overall.
I hope so. I really do for him.
Because I do think before he thought he was a running quarterback. He's not a running quarterback.
He's never. What? Who thought he was a running quarterback?
I think Tua did. I thought Tua before thought he could hurt people with his legs. I don't think Tua could ever do that.
I also think I could hurt people with my legs, but then I go out there and I realize I'm running in slow motion.
Yeah, well, Tua didn't come to that conclusion.
I mean, I guess he did now. Man, I saw a stat on Twitter where the Dolphins had the least amount of rushing yardage come from the quarterback position. The least. That's crazy. The other teams out there that had way worse quarterback play are slower quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But I guess Tua and Teddy, they didn't do anything. Like zero. They did nothing on the ground.
No, I do think the injury is, or not the injury, the weight is going to help him. And yeah, I agree with you. He's more of the get the ball out quick, get the ball out accurate, get that timing down. That's the kind of quarterback Tua is. But let's also get to, besides talking about Tua, because I feel like we bring Tua up every episode, let's talk about DeAndre Hopkins getting cut. Where do you think he's going to go?
What do I think, or do I want?
I mean, I think I would love him in Dallas. I don't think that's going to happen. But we all want him in Dallas, the team that nobody gives a fuck about. I was going to say, I think we all want, and then I was going to say, well, I would prefer him in Dallas. But I think we all would, as a football fan, would like to see what he can do in Kansas City.
Everyone's going to say Kansas City.
Yeah.
Everyone is. That'd be awesome. I would not hate that at all. People are saying Buffalo because they wanted to add a weapon.
Right now, they're saying Chiefs and Bills are in an arms race for DeAndre Hopkins.
Yep. I want to. If it was up to those two teams, obviously put them in Kansas City. Let's have fun. Let's put up video game numbers. Let's do all the fun things.
Would you? So we talked about this last week as well. Do you think there is a competition for the Randy Moss, Tom Brady touchdown record if DeAndre Hopkins is in Kansas City?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think he's prime. I was prime Randy Moss.
I know, but if you put prime Tom Brady and prime Patrick Mahomes up, I'm taking prime Patrick Mahomes over Tom Brady.
I think if anyone breaks that record, it wouldn't even be DeAndre Hopkins. It'd be Kelsey. with Mahomes.
No.
He's so good at getting open, dude. He's so freaking good at finding those spaces.
No.
He's so good at finding those
spaces.
He's
not the deep threat that you need to be to do that.
You're right. You're right. But I feel like there's cheap little stupid.
Did you hear what they've mentioned though? They think Kadarius Toney is going to be a number one receiver.
Yeah, okay. It's May. It's May. Yeah, 2 and Waddle setting the record. That's what I'm talking about. Dude, it's May. I've heard Aaron Rodgers' ankles tweaked up. This guy's this guy's that. It's May. They're in shorts. Let's chill. Let's chill out on Kadarius Toney being the number one guy there. Just chill.
I don't think they're saying he could be the number one guy this year, but eventually they have in their sights him being the number one receiver in Kansas City.
Yeah. Guess what? Philadelphia had sights of Jalen Reagor being the number one too.
But people were out there catching babies, and Jalen Reagor's dropping balls.
You got the Buccaneers at one point wanted Ronald Jones to be the number one back. Like we all want these things to happen.
Now he's in Dallas, trying to be the power back in Dallas. But also,
realistically, though, he'll never be a number one.
Where does he end up? DeAndre Hopkins. Where does he end up?
Buffalo. Look, if I'm Hopkins, I'm going to Kansas City because I know in my mind, in my simpleton 37-year-old mind who doesn't really play football, Mahomes is elite. Yeah. Josh Allen is just a good quarterback. I'm going with the elite
great offensive coach.
Yeah, I'm going with Mahomes all day. Yeah. 10 out of 10. I think so. But wild cards, which there's probably no wild cards. I'd like to see him in Cleveland.
Yeah, they already said no.
I know, but I'm gonna say I know for a fact he's not going there. But I love to see him in Cleveland. I'd love to see him in Chicago. I know that's not gonna happen. I know it's not gonna happen, but I would just love it, and I would love to see him in Detroit. I think if you want to go all in, and you want to do what you want to say you're gonna do, you want to compete. You have Amon-Ra and nobody else. You have Jamison Williams, and we don't know who he is. He's a question mark.
Did Amon-Ra get suspended?
No, that was Jamison Williams. Okay. He got suspended for gambling. So he missed his whole rookie season almost with an ACL. Yeah. That's already a bad start. And then now you're suspended for 6 games because you're an idiot and you gambled. They don't have another number 2 there to make up the difference. They don't. They have, I think, DJ Chark if he's still there.
Yeah.
Other than that, they don't have anyone else. And I think they have the salary cap to make the move. I don't think Hopkins will go there. I think he's a lot smarter. He wants to play for a coach that has not rocks for brains.
But anyway, before we get out of here, because we're coming up on our time, Dalvin Cook's also been tossed around as being cut, traded. It's been a while. A lot of people say Miami, but now that there's a possibility of him getting cut, one, do you think he's traded or do you think he gets cut, and where do you think he ends up?
Now he's talking about he'll take a pay cut. Now he's talking about how he wants to stay there, take a pay cut. It's because nobody wants him. Nobody wants him.
I would take him.
Well, of course, but you're not paying for it. You're not paying the price. You're not paying his price tag.
If I had the choice between Dalvin Cook or Ezekiel Elliott, I'm taking Dalvin Cook all day, and I'll give him.
Of course. Of course. It's not even a question.
I'm easily, if I'm Dallas, I'm looking at Dalvin Cook, bringing him in and saying, hey, Jones, sorry. I know we brought you in, but you're not making the 53-man roster. We have Dalvin Cook here, and we have Deuce Vaughn, and we have Tony Pollard.
I think that Zeke goes back to Dallas. I truly believe he goes back to Dallas.
I hope he doesn't.
I think that Dalvin stays in Minnesota, and I think the Miami Dolphins are stuck with their running back carousel, and it's gonna be a miserable running year for Miami.
Do you think someone gets traded this offseason, running back wise?
No, you don't. I mean, I'm not going to say no. I just said no, but I'm not going to say no because anything's possible. But I don't see a major running back being traded this offseason.
Yeah.
There's no way. Okay. Every team's got their team set. Everyone's set.
Well, anyway, appreciate everyone watching the show today. B McD, appreciate you. Follow us on Twitter, Josh18302, Josh Kimmel US. Our network, Fins Talk Sports Network. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Our show, Mugs and Balls on all platforms. We normally do have a show after this coming on, but they are waiting to find out what happens in that NBA Game 7 championship. So the E10th Street Boys with Bobby, Vince Talk, and Alex, AJ, what is that? Atia is going to be tomorrow. So watch them then. They're going to cover the Game 7 of the Heat Celtics. So be sure to tune in for that. What do you have to leave us on after I say like and subscribe?
Well, I will say Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Geez, here we go.
Catch me and my boys. I think Dirtbag Dave's going to be there. We'll be talking fantasy football. That is the home of fantasy football talk every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern.
My question, is this in love Dirtbag Dave or this disgruntled Dirtbag Dave?
Tune in and find out Wednesday night, 8 p.m. because we'll be breaking down the top 60, my top 60 dynasty wide receiver rankings. We're going through the entire list. Spoiler alert, Justin Jefferson is the one. Come back to find out who else is who's behind him in that.
Well, I just want to say, if Dirtbag Dave is out there listening, watching, please, I want disgruntled Dirtbag Dave back. It was a great show with disgruntled Dirtbag Dave, where he was just going after you, angry with you, and you would have to go in and just,
When was this? Like, you talking about back in the day?
Yeah, back in the Dave with with Davey, Dirtbag Dave, Josh Kimmel. It was great. So if that happens again with Dirtbag Dave coming in and just being angry at you, telling you you're dumb and all that, I'm all over that. Please give me that now.
Well, Wednesday night, tune in.
Tune in.